Hello everyone, here's Hussam with you from Giuliani Associates Architects and Tech TV. We are talking about the third part of the material episode, which is the episode for the material actually. So today we're going to talk about how we can adjust the material when we project it on the surface. How we going to manage it, how we going to make it looks really in the correct scale and all of these kind of things. So let's go back to the material editor in 3D Studio Max and the option over here. Okay, let me maximize the viewport first. So what we want to talk about it today is what if I have 3 or 4 different, surfaces like sphere or, wall or maybe cylinder like this, how we can project our material and correct them in those 3 different type of surfaces. So we will take the material that we created before and we apply it to the 3 of those surfaces, or maybe even 4 of them, okay? So for the plain one, we don't have any problem. It looks okay. We can go back to the views color here. We can just add more tiling, to it. But notice if I mess with the tiling things, all the material in the 4 that I applied on the 4 geometry, they will take the same tiling setting, right? Which is really, this is not what I want, because I want to control them separate, and that will give me more advantage to control my material in the scene, right? So let's keep the tiling one by one, okay? And I need another tools that help me to control each geometry individually, okay? And this is called modify. So you build your material, assign it to the object, and then you go to modify. And as you notice, if I select the plane will show here. And then I have to go to the modifier list, and I hit U, and that will take me to UVW map. So if I click on it, what it does, it's actually creating what we call gizmo. So if I go here and see it right now, see this, what we call gizmo, okay? And the gizmo basically, it's like an empty box or an empty space that will reflect how that, or will tell you how that image will project on top of the surface. So right now, the image is projected as a plane on top of the plane. So you see the mapping type, planar, which means it's a plane on top of the plane. So let me go back, make it like it was. So as you notice, this is the gizmo. If I select the gizmo, I can move the map or the projection of the map and control it however I want to place it on top of the geometry. Okay? Okay. So you select the mapping based on the geometry, based on the geometry itself, like the planar, which is mean more plane geometry. If I hit, I have to go back here. If I select the cylinder and I hit UVW map, the plane is not working well. See the plane gizmo, how it looks like? So it's not working well with the cylinder, so I have to go with the cylinder here and the cap. And that will control the material very well, and it will project it very well on top of the cylinder. The other thing, and we will do the same thing with the sphere, so we select the sphere, UVW map, and spherical. So you see how that really worked very well. And then the last thing, the box itself. The problem with the box, maybe it will show you a good thing on one side, but on the other side it's going to be really different. going to be really messed up. So we have to apply UVW map. See, the planner is not working very well, and we select box. Okay, and we need to modify each of those objects separate than the other, and that's why I don't want to deal with the tiling here and the modifier of the in the material editor, because that will mess up all the object scale, right? So if I select the plane, the ground, right now I can control the length and the width of the maps without messing with the tiling parameter. So if I go here, I can tell that I need it like this, maybe this small, right? So that will give me an idea about, give me like more advantage tool to control the material itself, the size of the material. And I can even add the tile from here if I need. One thing I remember, someone asked me why they called UVW map, why they don't call you. I tell you why. Because they don't want you to confuse between the axis, the main axis like Y, X, Z over here. So they just, it's the axis. So they call them UVW. So when you hear UVW, it means they are the axis of the material. So the U, it's basically the X axis, and this is the Y axis, and this is the Z axis. That's why right now nothing moving here. Okay, and you can flip the image in whatever axis you want. And you can use something called real world map size, and this is basically when you create your maps, you know, maybe in AutoCAD and Photoshop, and you said that like the break is like 8 by 3 inches or 6 inches, and then you want to see the same size in the whole material, so you can check the real world map size, and that will show you the correct size. For me, mostly I just create a reference. I go here like a rectangular, and I said this is like 1 by 1, and then I can figure out the right scale, and that's it. So it depends on what way you want to go with. Okay, so the other option that is really matter for you, you can go ahead and go to alignment, and that will give you, you know, an option how you want to align this planner on top of the plane. So if you set X or Y or Z axis, so that will align that gizmo based on the axis. And then if you want to go with the fit, that will fit the gizmo with the whole object, and then you lose what you did in here. So a bitmap fit, which is you can select any other bitmap, and that will fit it with the bitmap. So this is the right scale of the bitmap. So these are the real dimension of the bitmap, okay? And so on, view, align, region, so all of them. One thing that's really important, if I want to make the same scale or the same setting for two different objects, like in here and this box. So you basically, you select your object, and you select this one, and you hit the object that you want to match the same size. And it says okay, and that will match both of them the same size, which is really not right. Oh, you match the same properties of UVW map. That will turn the plan properties for UVW map to box. So it takes the whole setting from the box, right? Which is not the right thing that we want to do. So Control Z. So I just want to show you what this option does, you know. So this is it. So this is how you control the UVW map on top of each one of the objects. So if I go to the box right now, okay, so in the box I see like 3 different, you know, size setting, and then I can just go here and fix those 2 here, see, okay, like this and like that, okay. So you fix the seamless and the size on the 2 other surface as well, okay. You go to the sphere, same thing, you can actually fix the size of the texture, how you want to looks like. Okay, and finally you go to the cylinder, the same thing. So you control each object individually. You know, you don't need to deal with what we call the tiling things. It's really hard to control all of these objects, you know, with just, because if I go ahead to the main material and I play with this, it will mess with all of the other objects. If it's good with this one, it will mess with my maps on top of the sphere and so on. So stay away from the tiling things and always using UVW map to control your material on top of the object. Okay, so what if I, like I said before, what if I want to match one of these? Like let me go and I create another box in here. I don't want to go again and do the sitting things, so I just have to apply the material. I can select the old box over here. I can just click copy and go and select this guy and hit paste instance. So that will take any change that I made for the other one, or I will make for this guy. If I go back here and I make changing, it will change for the other object as well. See, so it's really very helpful in 3D Studio Max to using the UVW map. There is a very advanced tool if you want to control really how the maps looks like. If you want to create like a dirt on the edge, or if you want to create like, you know, some kind of text on top of this object, there's another tool called Unwrap Map, this one, which is basically, it will unwrap the whole faces for you, and you can create a different image. You can play with that image. See here what's happening? It's like split the whole faces, and then we can export that to Photoshop, and from there we can draw our new maps. This is a very advanced tool, and we're gonna talk about it in very advanced, you know, episode. But for now, this is the basic one, which is UVW map, and we'll go back to material editor. I want to talk more about the slit material. There's a time to talk about it. So, like I said, this is very basic material editor. But if you want to get more advanced and understand how you already built your material, you can go to modes from here and convert the compact material editor to slit material editor, which is this one. Okay, and you notice right away, right now, I'm working on this maps, concrete one. It's a standard material. If I double click on this, I can see the main parameters, and then this would tells me that I put an image in the diffuse color, and I linked the same image to the bump, right? I can take it off, I can go back and put it back here. Let me go back to the sample itself so we can see more. Okay, so if you took the bump off, see the bump gone, and you can just link it again. So this is really very useful to tell you how that material was built. And in this one, as you can see on the left side here, there is the material, the map, the control, and the material actually, it has the general scan line, which is the one that we're using right now. And the maps, you will see the bitmap and everything. The way how you create the material in this one, it's very simple as well. You just have to right-click, go material, scan line, and then standard. And voila, you create a new material. And you can just, you know, hide the other one and work on this one. Double click on it, and it will turn the parameters for you. Then you can change the color in here, and you notice the color changes as well. So let's say that we want to make it like, you know, a little bit like this maybe. Okay, and then from here, if I want to add a texture to it, I hit the diffuse in here, or maybe I will just go to maps, scan line, sorry, general, and then we can go, let's say that rather than the bitmap, maybe I want to do a checker different two color, okay? And I can just take this and put it in the views. Okay, so now you see there's two color in this material. The color number one, go general, maybe, go to scan line, let me go, maybe the first one, actually we can select it from here. You can go maps, and there's like two color over here, and you can select the green, and maybe the blue, and you notice you have two different checker. So if I apply this in here, I still cannot see anything, of course. So I have to go back one, and I turn on show the material in viewport, this icon over here, and then you will see the checker maps on top of the ground. And you can, in real time, you can just go ahead and change those color, and there's like an option with soften, so you can make a transition between those color as well. Okay, you can put two maps actually in here. You can use, like for example, you can use the image of the what we call the concrete. So I have to go inside. Okay, if I hit rendering, because you cannot see actually in a viewport, you cannot see this kind of material, but there is the color is indicated the concrete. But see how it's blended, so it's really cool if you blend two material. And see right now in the slate material is really very helpful to see how you created your material. Actually, it's really very helpful to understand where you are, what parameters you need to change, and so on. So like I said, this is like the basic of the material editor. Okay, and we just want to help you guys to understand how we build the material, how we build the shader itself. So it's very useful to know the basic of those things. But honestly, you don't need to know more for now. It's based on you, based on how you want things work for you. This is okay for, you know, the beginner. This is all what they need to know, but eventually when you get really big size of project and the client really need to see specific material and how the shader works, so you need to get more advanced. And this is something we work on it for future. And thank you so much for watching us, and see you in the next episode. Thank you. Have a good one.